you do if you had to fend for yourself in the woods for over a month? And I mean fend for yourself, like kill animals and things. I don't know about you guys, but I'm almost 25 years old, and chances are I'll die. If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch is exactly that tale, except through the eyes of a 15-year-old who you later discover is actually 14, so that makes it even worse. If You Find Me begins with the character of Carrie, this young girl who's 15 years old. As I said, you later on find out she's actually 14, but at first you think she's 15, and it's her fending for herself and her little sister. They're eating beans or whatever, and these two people show up and are like, "You have to leave with us. We can't leave you here in this broken down camper van to fend for yourselves, your children." I know what everybody's thinking. Where's the parents? Where's the mother? Where's the father? Well, I'll tell you. The man who has come to get these girls is the father. Which leaves the open question of where the hell's the mother? Did these kids run away? No, the mother's a crack addict and abandoned them. This is the beginning of the story, is these girls being taken away from the woods where they've kind of known everything and thrown into our lives and the world that we know now. Now, Carrie used to live in the world we know now. She was taken away, I believe the story said about 3, and she remembers bits and pieces of it, but her little sister Janessa, I think, was actually born in the woods, so she knows nothing apart from what she grew up with. This story is basically just them going through this journey of, adapting to our everyday lives and what we have to do, and you kind of see that they do enjoy it. They enjoy hot showers, they enjoy having food constantly, but there's bits of it that you kind of see that Carrie is kind of hesitant about. High school, for example, she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to meet all of these new people. She wants nothing to do with it, but she's forced to do it. She's forced into this, and you kind of see how people almost treat her, that she's kind of like dirty, a plague, although no one knows exactly where she came from. The hardest part, I think, for Carrie and Janessa were when they were taken by their father, who Carrie always thought and believed and was actually told by her mother abused them, abused her mother, abused her, and that's why they had to run away. That's why they had to leave them. So they're taken in by the father and then taken back to his home, where they find out that, well, he's got a whole other family. The father married someone else who already had a child about Carrie's age. So you kind of see this turmoil between Carrie and this other girl, Delana. The other daughter's name, I believe, is Delana. I can't really remember or pronounce it, but yes, they call her Deli. So there's her and Carrie, who are kind of like opposites from each other. You have Deli, who's all, prissy and like, "Oh, look at me," and then you have Carrie, who grew up in the woods, that is like, I'll take my ripped jeans, it's cool. Initially, I thought once they met the other family that there would be this hatred between each other. That the stepmother especially would be like, "I don't want to do with these kids. I don't want them." But it's actually the complete opposite. The stepmother takes them in and treats them as if they were her own, and I love that about her, because I'm kind of like, "Oh, you're such a good person." Now, the character of Carrie, you find out a lot about. She's not too complicated. It's Janessa, the littlest one, that is the complicated one, because she has selective mutism. She doesn't speak, and they kind of find her to be a bit slow at first, and Carrie backs her up, is like, "No, she just doesn't want to talk to you. She doesn't talk." And you find out that she once before did talk all the time, and when you find that out, I kind of sat there and was like, well, that's understandable. She grew up in the woods. She doesn't know anyone else besides her mother and Carrie. So why would she feel comfortable talking to someone else? Like, it's not normal to her. However, you find out that there is a deeper, darker, more disturbing reason as to why Janessa does not speak. Granted, you don't find out until the end what that deep, dark secret is, and it really has nothing to do, well, okay, it has something to do with Janessa, but it's really Carrie's dark secret that Janessa's holding back and keeping from people. So, it's that sisterly bond between them. I'm not going to give away too much about this book, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. This has to be hands down one of the best contemporary novels I have read in a long time. And I think the last one I read was Winter Girls by Anderson. That's all I can recall is her last name. She wrote Speak. So I read Speak in high school, and then I found Winter Girls, and I went and read that. But hands down, this will be one of the best books I've read in 2013. Oh yes, it will be. On to what I liked and what I didn't like. The first thing we're going to get into is what I did not like, because I can show you. The first chapter, I'm not going to lie, I had an issue to get through. And my pen ready at hand was so excited about this, kind of my OCD kicked in, and I was not a happy camper with the first chapter, let me tell you. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but clearly there's doodle marks everywhere and edits. And okay, yes, I mark in my books, big deal, get over it. Growing up in the woods, Carrie kind of has that hillbilly aspect to her, where she uses the word ain't a lot, and instead of the word doesn't, she uses don't, and it irritates me to a point that I want to scream, and I really wanted to give up on this book in the first chapter. I'm happy I didn't, but I wanted to. There's also Carrie making up words in the first chapter that I'm sitting there like, what? That's not a word. And it's not just dialogue she does it in. If it was dialogue, that would be different in my eyes, because that's her speaking. That's her way of talking to you. But when it's in her mind and she's using the word don't instead of doesn't and ain't, I cringed, and I was like, no, bad. And yeah, no, that was not my cup of tea. Once as they're taken out of the woods and into the real world, Carrie then decides, I need to change. This isn't how I can behave anymore, because her mother always told her, don't talk like that, talk like this, and be proper, be a girl. So deep down, Carrie always knew how to talk to people, how to speak properly. And I don't know why she didn't do it in the first chapter, but it just bothered me tremendously. But once they're taken out of the woods and she has to communicate with her father and this woman, she starts talking properly. She starts thinking properly. So, okay, it did get a lot better, and I'm happy about that. I really am. But just that first chapter was really, really hard, because as the writer, I'm like, it's okay if they talk like that, but when it's like you just paragraphs of it, I'm just sitting there like, God, stop it. That was the only thing I disliked about the book, however, was just that first chapter. I loved everything else. I loved the way the characters were built. They were so real that you wanted to grab Janessa and hug her and be like, it's okay. And you wanted to be Carrie's friend, and you wanted to, make Deli, whoever the hell she was, understand and tell her that it's okay that these new people are in your life type of situation. It was just as hard for Deli as it was for Carrie and Janessa coming into these lives. And you feel for each character. You grow to love each character. You grow to even love the father, whom in the beginning you kind of hate when you find out that he abused them, that's why they were in this situation to begin with. But you find out that's not the truth either. So you grow to love all of these characters, and I love that about this book. I love the whole aspect of it. I love the flashbacks, the memories that Carrie begins to get again. I love the memories that come back to Carrie as this progresses. That she's like, oh, I remember this. I remember you. I remember doing this. I remember how to do this. It's beautifully written and well done. And oh my God, seriously, one of the best books I've read in a long time. All in all, I give If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch an A+. It is well worth a read. I'm so happy I have it as a hardback, because I love it that much. I can constantly go back to it. It doesn't look bad with a bent spine because it's so pretty in a hardback. And seriously, if you have not read this book, go read it, because it was brilliant and I loved it. It was a short read. It was only 289 pages. A+. Go get it. Go read it. It was awesome. I will say this. I completed it in like a day and a half after, I pushed myself past that first chapter. Jar time for next to read. Yes! Dark Parties is the next book on my list, and I'm so excited about this. Just look at that cover. Just look how pretty it is. Look at it. Dark Parties. Neva keeps a list of the missing, people like her grandmother who have vanished. The people that everyone else pretends never existed. In a world isolated by the protectosphere, a dome which protects but also imprisons, Neva and her friends dream of freedom. But a forbidden party leads to complications. Suddenly, Neva's falling for her best friend's boyfriend, uncovering secrets and lies that threaten to destroy her world, and learning the truth about what happens to the missing. This is a future dystopian type of book. From my knowledge and what I've read, someone out there compared it to the Hunger Games meets Chemical Garden trilogy, so yay! Look at the cover! Look how pretty. If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch is an A+. Go buy it, go read it, enjoy it, devour it like I did. Next up is Dark Parties by Sarah Grant, so keep tuned. And until then, you guys, happy reading. Bye!